Grand Rising, Elizabeth.
Grand
Grand
Rising.
Rising.
This is Sister Mama Hetheru coming to you live from the Ewok Circle Village Estate here in Detroit, Detroit. Good old Detroit. Today is Wednesday, May the
17.
17th. All right. And we are here for our Wisdom Wednesday episode of the Grand Rising Elizabeth Show. Welcome to Mama Evelyn, Mama Bridget, and Queen Aduni. Greetings.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We are coming back from a very powerful weekend. I want to say, I think it was more of a personal experience collectively, if you will. Welcome, Ebony. Woo woo. So, as I look back, let's do a look back over the year since we've been here. Now, when I look back, as I was going through, because there was one day I went through the archives, because there was a time where I hadn't really even touched any of the recorded shows. And I remember when I started reviewing them, because one of the things I like doing is going back and getting my guest show and making sure that they have it's in the social media, either on the Instagram or their Facebook account. I think that's one of the great benefits of being on the show, that now you have this digital experience of telling your story. So I think that and then you have the interactive of the question and answers, because you don't get to do that when you're live on Zoom or live on Facebook, unless you're manning the chat window. You really don't get to interact with your people as well as as you would like. So I think that's another thing that I like, the interactive of the Zoom, and then the ability to give the archive to our guests. I think that's just great benefits. So I need to write those down. I write down the benefits of the Elizabeth feedback. Well, interactive, and also the archive. Ta-da! Now, I didn't realize that you all had started in May, because I think I joined in June. I didn't realize I was so close to the beginning. And one of the other benefits, because we are on Zoom, you can get some work done while we're doing this session. There were times when I just wanted to be totally present with my pen and paper. You always need a pen and paper with the Elizabeths. You're not going to always. There's going to be a note needed to be taken down for sure. Also, the growth of me being more present for the things that I want to do and the things that I have, I guess, seen that I said, I could do that. And one of them is being a vendor. I began vending, I guess it was last year, with Juanita. I think she was the first person, if I'm not mistaken. Juanita's laugh event, her cancer event, was the first event where I officially had a table with items. And there's a lot of times I might pretend to do things or say I want to do things, but it actually came to fruition because of me being associated with the Elizabeth. So it's making me more responsible for the things that for the weeds that are in me. They're getting to come out and be. So I'm really enjoying that part. And also the growth of, growing and being, being pulled out so that then I can express and then get to know and understand better who I am and who I'm becoming. Because I remember seeing a segment from Ilana Van Zandt where she said, you ain't even met the you're going to become yet. And I was like, wow, that is so true. So if there was anybody else, and I want to get into this, I want you all to share your year or your time here and what it has meant to you, as deep as you can go, and then we'll go ahead and do the other things that I have set aside for us to do today. But I just felt that this was a really important session. It was one thing that I wanted to do, but this came out. I mean, it's still along the same lines, but just sharing what this year has meant for you, if you can, if you'd like.
Did you say me?
Anybody, somebody, please.
Hey, Bridget.
Hey. Okay, I'm coming on. Oh, I got my jacket on. I opened up all the windows in the house to cleanse the air.
Right.
So still in here. So I joined in. I met Queen and Mama Evelyn and Pam and Sunzi, and I met everybody at the same time last year in August.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hug Detroit Day.
yeah, at Hug Detroit Day. And that was a very powerful day because I normally didn't go to Hug Detroit Day. I've always known about it, but I didn't go. But that day, for 2 weeks before going, the spirit just kept saying I had to go. So I went. We ended up sitting down talking, me and Queen, we talked almost all day.
Yeah.
We talked almost pretty much all day. I think I finally joined in September. And I can say that it's been a transforming journey because through being on the Elizabeth, there has been what I describe as old hefty bag garbage that has fallen off along this walk and growing. But there also has become a strength to do more than you ever thought that you could. And now, the dream that the Holy Spirit gave me this morning at 3 a.m. when my eyes popped open makes sense. So I have a friend, I haven't seen her in a long time, but the dream was about her daughter. So her daughter never learned to ride a bike because when she started riding her bike, she fell a couple of times. And so her father said he didn't want her knees skinned up. And so he took her bike, gave it away. So her brother, my son, their friends in the neighborhood, she spent every summer running behind them while they were riding their bikes. They would be riding their bikes up and down the street and she would be running behind them. This went on for years. And then the boys got older and the boys would ride their bike and turn the corner and be gone because they'd grown and progressed to us trusting them to go around the corner and come back or go a couple of blocks over and run back and come back. And as the boys would turn the corner, she would slowly walk back and sit on the porch and just sit there. And the boys would be gone for, however long that we'd given them, enough rope to go and do their thing. And then they would come back and they would ride up and down the street and she would run behind them. In life, you fall. But do you stay down there? Or do you get back up, dust yourself off, Get back on your horse, get back on your bike, and keep at it. That to me is the growth that comes from being an Elizabeth. We all fall, but don't give away your bike.
Don't give away your bike.
Wow. That's wow. I remember learning to ride a bike on my neighbor friend's bike. And there was a stone wall that every time I got to it, I'd fall. I just kept on pedaling till I got it. Wow.
And that came to me so clearly this morning, because I remember that girl growing up and watching all the kids grow and feeling like she lost something. Because, and I told my girlfriend, I said, that will follow her through the rest of her life. Because every time she goes to try something, she gonna give up.
You know, I see it differently. I see that I feel like she didn't give up because she kept running and she got some badass legs. I'm just thinking of her legs, her thighs.
No. The opposite. No, the opposite happened. The total opposite happened.
What do you mean? Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. I want to come back to that. I'll come back to that.
Yeah, you can come back to that, but that's just the lesson.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let me write this down. The run behind. I got questions about that daddy. Okay, let me write down daddy. Okay, so Bridget, were you complete with your Elizabeth?
I am completely complete, because my thing here is, like I said, we all fall. We all start somewhere. It's just it coincides with what you said about your vendor table.
Gotcha.
When you started your vendor table, it was the first time you started it, right?
Yeah, the very first time.
You learned from that first time, right?
Uh-huh.
You got back on and you did more vendor tables.
Sure did. You're right about yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So that's the whole thing about this whole thing.
Okay.
You got back on.
I got back
You didn't give away your bike. You didn't give away your table. You got back on and you rode. That's what the Elizabeths are all about. We learn from each other. We are all different women with all different life experiences. We've all been through different shit. We've all been over the hill, over the dale, through the valley, through the mud, got out, crawled out, whatever. But that's what we all bring to the table.
Preach.
Yeah, I want to throw this in with your share, Bridget, that and this might have been where Mama was going, Mama had, in the sense that she did strengthen her legs, right? By running after them, she just strengthened her legs. But that was not the intention. Was she gave up the bike, and she had to live from that because she never picked the bike back up. So when her daddy said that, and she accepted that as her truth, right? So she had to run. Now, in her running, because all things work together for the good, right? Everything, you learn something. So she strengthened her legs and stuff, but that was more work, so on and so forth. So God used that strengthening of her legs to maybe she became an athlete or something, like, that's why my legs are so strong, because I had to run after my brothers and stuff on the, they had a bike. And but years later, the root of that is that she has to go back to that my daddy said this to me, and then that made me live from that.
Yeah, her daddy took her bike. Her daddy took her bike from her.
But she didn't, you know, she didn't. And so I get what you're saying, that we give up some things, Bridget, in our experiences all along the way until we, get to a point where we understand that don't do that, and still we probably do it sometimes and, make that decision on something and live from that. Yes, you get strengthened in other areas that you use, but that area is where you still need to get a breakthrough.
Right.
And get back to where it came from, daddy saying, when, and then I just never did anymore because I love my daddy and blah, 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 So God uses everything. Nothing is trash. God will use that. Yet that's where that started. And then she's doing that with everything in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I knew this girl. So this story comes from what you are saying. Yes, would sound good if that was what happened. That's not what happened.
It was even deeper than what happened with the bite. I see you. I see what
deeper than that.
Yeah.
Her legs did not become strong.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Did damage. So that's why I say, it did more than you would think. So that's why I say, if you fall off your bike and you skin your knee, don't give away your bike.
Don't give away your bike. Don't ever give away the bike.
Got it.
Because psychologically,
down
the line, you start to ask yourself, what would have happened if I kept my bike? What would have happened if I got back on that bike and I rode?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I tell people, people that tell me that they can't do anything, I don't tell them that they can, but I told them, you didn't know how to do nothing when you got here. You had to learn everything you're doing. Some stuff innately, yes, and true, but you couldn't even hold your little head up, okay? And it was a little head. You couldn't even hold your little head up. So there's that. So we are thank you so much for sharing, Bridget. We're gonna go back and talk about this child, that daddy, and he don't want. Okay, I'm not gonna go there right now. Ooh. Okay, so
wait. I gotta say something, Mama Evelyn. The look on your face. I've been watching your face. You have gone into 5 different changes of deep thought.
I just.
So to the sisters who are just coming on, we're gonna go back to this phase, Mama Evelyn, and what your thoughts are. But we are discussing, first of all, Grand Rising, Elizabeth.
Grand Rising.
Thank you, Natural Living and Reverend Omani, Sister Deetra, Star. Yes.
All right.
Danielle there.
iPhone. Danielle's iPhone.
I don't see her square. Oh yeah, I see it now. You know what, that black square, I wasn't even looking. I was looking right at it and not looking. And Danielle, thank you all for coming in today. We are looking at our year of Elizabeth, or the time that you've been here, just looking at an overall change about yourself, or what you seeing different or not different in yourself being in this space for this time that we have been gifted with Elizabething. As life be lifing, because life be lifing.
Elizabething.
We've been Elizabething.
We be Elizabething.
Mama Evelyn, did you want to go next? You so deep in thought. We love it. We love it.
I mean, it just shows how you have to be careful not to crush your child's dream. no, Sheena can be a little overprotective, but when RJ would fall, I'm like, you okay? And I would let him do that. I would let him just do what he needed to do.
So you want to share from what it's been for you in this past year?
Oh, I think I started in June too. Because
Okay.
yeah, because I didn't start. I learned from it because Juanita her and Sheldon were taking RJ to school every day, and I was riding with them. Um, so she said, "Have you know Sheila Hale?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've known Sheila for a long time." And she was talking about I said, "Oh, okay." And I think I waited until RJ went to his dad's house because 8 o'clock in the morning, while he was in school, wasn't working at the time. Well, yeah, the Elizabeths have drawn me out of just doing my little thing in my little part of the world. It's called forth all of us to be bigger than what we ever imagined. And like I said about the conference, okay, now I know what it is I need to pull together to be more of, because the vendors that came, that was God working. That was God. I was like, I loved it. I loved the variety. And but to take a more active role and not be the observer all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the information and the clarity I have gotten of things that I have done that brought me here. All of the little projects, all of the little of what I thought were failed craft attempts were not failures. They were lessons in preparation for being a teacher.
Yes. Say it.
Of the arts. All the knowledge and all the DIY TV I was looking at and all the shows and all the stuff that I accumulated and not always did the projects. It was just the fun of I love to research things, and I love for someone to come to me with a project, just like Love Rose with the hats. It's a yeah.
The
And I am working with what Mama Sumara would call my engineer mind, is how can we engineer that hat, that covering, because it seems very simple. And so I love doing that. I love a challenge. Repetitive. I was never a repetitive type of artist. It wasn't, do the same thing over and over and over again. It's always something new and shiny that draws my attention.
You didn't give up your bike, Mama Evelyn. I hear that. I hear that. You did not give up your bike. You might have changed it into a folding bike or a tricycle or 2-wheel, 4-wheel, big wheel, green machine, but you kept your bike.
Yes, I kept my bike.
So thank you for sharing. Are you complete, Mama Evelyn? If you get something else, you go on and shoot that hand up and let us know. Sister Deidre, I see your hand is up.
Okay, okay.
Uh-huh.
Greetings, Grand Rising, everyone. Yes, yes. Power. Yes, yes. The force. Yes. Let's see. For me, being a part of this for the year, I came in a little bit later too. But when I came in, it was I was walking slow, trying to feel my way. Mama Razia asked me to, she said it might be a good thing for me to join. So I said, okay. So I came in, not sure about what was really going on, but but as I gradually got involved more and more, I became more empowered. I began to step into roles, that were, just maybe out of my zone of what I'm used to being a part of, but I was able to step into new roles. So I really appreciate that. So it's been growing, it's been learning. I've learned information, especially about my yacht and that kind of thing. I mean, that was profound to me, and I loved it. And so I'm still into it myself, and so it truly has been empowering. So this year has been, just taking strides, learning, growing, getting bigger. I'm a bigger Deidre since beginning with Elizabeth. So yeah.
Yeah. And we were on team together too. We were
Oh,
on
that's
team
right.
together.
That's right. That's
Tuesday,
right.
baby. It was Tuesday. Team, baby.
I know, right? That's right.
Yes.
But I am finished.
That's
Thank
funny.
you.
And you know one thing about being on Team Tuesday, we were always ready with the next thing to go. We were always
Yes.
ready with the next.
Yes, right.
that was really
right.
good.
And I know my team now, they're probably like, oh my goodness, what Deidre trying to do now? But
No,
you know
she
what?
had $5.
Oh, that's right. $5. That's right. Okay.
I love it because when people say it once, they say it twice. I'm like, ooh.
Right.
Just make sure you do your squeezes. You're going to strengthen something, okay? Strengthen something, all right?
Exactly.
It's your business. It's your business, but strengthen something. I am just really enjoying these testimonies. A part of the reason why we get to interact with other people is because they have something we need. We have something they need, and they have something we need, or something we need to tweak or to twerk or to work a little better, to dive a little deeper, to look a little further beyond where we are. And so I think that's why relationships are so important. And if we begin to look from the inside, we realize that everyone we meet, I'm talking about from the bee, the bug, the green, the yellow jacket, the ant who I'm dealing with. I got so many ants now that my family has grown immensely. But if we really take a look inside, the people we meet are pieces of us. There are pieces of us that we have not realized, not seen, not realized, that we push back, said, no, be quiet. I'm not ready to do that yet. But baby, when you meet the ones that you need to meet, they're going to bring that out and shine that star. Okay. Speaking of stars, Danielle, I see your hand up. Come on through and give us what you've gained and whatever Elizabething has done for you in this segment of time. Yeah.
I know. But one second, just we're talking about the year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know if you were here when we said that, and if anyone else came in. Yeah.
Okay.
Reflection of when, from the point that you
joined, yeah.
Which was the beginning.
Was the beginning, yeah. Started with At Peace, and it was actually supposed to be the three of us. It was supposed to be somebody to do finance, and she never showed up. life happened and she just never showed up, and it just ended up being me and at peace. Elizabeth forced me to bring balance into my life. It finally forced or brought the balance that I was looking for in my life, because I was just working. That was it. I wasn't using my gift. I wasn't using my craft. I was overworking, you know, trying to be being that that loyal, stellar employee, picking up extra people shifts, just all kind of stuff. But I didn't have any balance. And so when I took Mondays and was like, okay, realize I can't work on Mondays unless I work a later shift. And then it was like, no, Mondays get to be the show. You get to do some admin work. You get to clean up. You get to do, you know, take care of business. I was like, okay, it forced me to bring balance into my life. That was number one. Number two, it brought back a sisterhood that I missed, because I was once a part of a sisterhood, and, you know, having a life character moment, you know, I don't even think it was life character. It was like, I made a move. I thought I, you know, could use people of this organization, not use people of this organization, but use my gifts in this organization. And that's not how this person set up their organization. It's like, no, these are my students. You can't teach your craft, your gifts to my students type situation. It was like, oh, but I thought that that's what we were here for. I thought that we was here to, you know, learn and grow in this area. And as we grow in our areas, then we can network and support each other and help each other grow. And it just blew up. And it was like, when it blew up, it's like I got let go from that particular sisterhood. And I've been, you know, I've been searching for my tribe, because as a Leo, as me, I fit in several different tribes, but the spirituality, the growth, the bridging the business with the spirituality, that was a missing. The art, the creative, the dance, the freedom, you know, the release. And I forged, you know, I got back with my original godmother, you know what I'm saying? I got to work with her and, you know, magically see how things come from concept to actually full fruition. I got to, you know, get back with one of my original spirit sisters, Mama Evelyn, who's always creating something, who's always bringing out the inner joy, the inner child, the creativity of it all. You know, I got to get closer to Mama Het, you know, who actually, you know, inspired me to get into the dance arts. That day I walked into that Hoffa and saw her swinging on a pole. She hate me telling her that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth.
I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it.
I got to, you know, I met new people. I got closer to Mama Razia, because somehow in my spiritual journey, I'm always with the elders and I'm always with the originators. And it's a blessing to be with that, because sometimes people tend to get their egos involved with other people's teaching and mix and match and twist and turn. And it's like, okay, I'm with the original. I'm gonna stay with the originals. You know, Reverend Almani is that side of me that is still coming out. That's like, okay, I'm gonna say what I say, and I said what I said, and that's that. And I'm getting to that point. Like, I didn't stutter. I said what I said, and I stand by that. What is it? I'm trying to think of everybody. Edwana, I don't know. Somehow we connected in the last couple of months. That is my heart and my soul. And I'm like, you know, I want to see her and Ray explode onto the scene when it comes to the sound bathing, because it is so, so important. So yeah, you see a little bit of yourself in everybody, and the whole year has just become a part of my life. It's brought back that balance. It brought back that then the empowerment, you know, for me to step on stage and do a presentation, for me to have my classes and everything and follow up with people and get through the follow through and get to the money and make sure that, you know, things are taken care of. And, you know, this is part of me I've been seeking to get to for a long time, because there's part of Danny that would just stop or just get complacent. And it's like, no, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. To see my Elizabeth grow, you know, in their presence and their business, and we all grow together as we help each other. That's what I like the part about, we're growing together, helping each other. And I want to thank Queen Aduni for being so giving and compassionate, and more so ego-less. like, I don't know if you have an ego, because you don't work from ego. You don't come from ego. You're coming from your heart. And that's the most powerful thing that I see, is that this is a heart situation, a heart organ. And other people do see it too. And they're trying to figure out how to get in and how to be a part of. Lakeisha, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget my girl, Lakeisha, because just to see you grow, because I've known you, you know, like I said, I know people from different sectors. And when they start coming together into one place, it's like, you know, Keisha, you've been a powerhouse for years. And I've gotten closer to you and gotten close, you know, the sisterhood of business. And then we got the sisterhood of business, we got the spirituality of business, we got the art of business. And I think that's what encompasses Elizabeth. That's other organizations just focus on the business, but it's like, okay, there's different components to this that makes it all work, and makes it work better and more efficient and more and everything. So yeah, my whole year with Elizabeth has been about commitment. I've showed up every Monday except for one, when I was dealing with that little health awareness. Let's call it like that. That was an awareness moment. Okay. You know, I've, you know, I was like, I really take this serious. Like Mama Het knows, when I say I knew that this was going to be busy with the Elizabeth conference, I sat down and scheduled everybody to through June. I was like, okay, I don't have to think about who's next. And I think it was funny because I was with you yesterday, Mama Het, and you was like, well, you know, Jennifer is a good connect for the Jamaica. I was like, Jennifer's on my show next Monday. Like, I already got my connect, you know. It's about, you know, bringing balance. You can bring balance to everything. You know, when people tell you you can't or you can't, no, you can. It's like you just have to have the intention to do it and do the follow through to make sure that happens. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go to the next level. We got here. I'm excited to go to the next level. And I'm just excited. You know, the connections are coming. You know, there are people asking how they can be a part of this, how can they help, you know, the what's next. So I'm like, you know, yeah, I'll just leave with that.
Right, Ashe. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. Wow. Whew. You know, it's also being present for this Elizabeth has also been available for us to go through our life experiences together and just, you know, pull each other through, able to have a space to be heard and be seen and it be received, and somebody got the work it out, or we have work it out options available to us because we have so many different dynamic people here. Sharing, being able to share our family and the shit we go through, knowing that we can fertilize it or flush it on down the toilet. But somebody else may say, wait a minute, I got some shit to add to that pile too. And maybe having a session with Reverend Omani to burn some things, because with that experience, I was able to burn some things, but I also learned that I still had, you know, you may burn something that you're dealing with, but then because of that burning, you realize that it's a little bit of tail left over. You know, there may be a little tail. I remember when we used to have, they called the viruses or whatever, and it was always like a mouse, and they said, no, worms or whatever. And because when you cut them, a worm will be, you know, that piece might be gone, but this piece can go ahead and start living again. So when we burnt some things, we also learned that it was some tail left, some residuals left where we were mad about or not. Let me say, we were bothered by another piece because you cleared space with one section. Here's the rest of the stuff. So that was something that was critical for me. And I'm so thankful and grateful I was able to sit by my father's side while he was resting and write down that I forgive myself for being mad at him again. Because the greatest lesson you can learn about your people is respecting that they have their own lessons to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to witness them and say, you know what? I remember my blah, blah, blah went through this. And look at how they handled it, and then say, let me open my eyes and look and say, you know, I can't, being mad at somebody for their decisions is really not fair to you, because it takes up space in your health. Okay. It takes up space in your health, but it's their lesson. Now, if you're gonna participate in it, then at least take the lesson and look at how they handled it. Because we're all just walking through this thing. Don't know, anybody got a book? Does anybody have a book of life? I just want to know. Now we have A Course in Miracles that can help you through this life. We have many tools. And because of the Elizabeth, our tool chest, my tool chest is, I'm going to show you my tool chest. It's outside. I'm going to show you my chest that I have. I don't know if any of you watch Mr. Dress Up going up, but he always had that trunk, and I don't care what he went through. He has something in that trunk that would go with what's happening.
Yeah, he did. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. Edwana, I don't know who's next. We are talking about what we've gotten since we've been with the group Elizabeth. If it's been 2 minutes or 2 years, I want a year, however long it's been, just we're sharing about what this, you know, what we've gained or whatever. Queen, you can help word it, because my word is
how this platform, this show has impacted your life.
Wow.
That's it.
Well, I'm continuing. Listen, Mama Het was on a roll.
She was finishing up, and you stepped in, so you can share if you choose.
All right. I choose to. Again, Grand Rising, everyone. I have grown immensely. There's so many levels to understanding and so many shifts in life. And some you have warnings for, and many you don't. And so many, too numerous to even enumerate right here in my life. And in different seasons, you're still called to stand in the midst of whatever. And in the midst of many overwhelming circumstances for myself, I landed softly in the midst of the Elizabeths.
in a split.
It's a whole nother situation. Truly. Let me be more specific. So I had a website for a long time, and I have had circumstances come out of the blue that were like tentacles, and I just couldn't get past those to get to the next step in other areas of my life. Well, I connected with the Elizabeths and pulled in, and Danielle and I connected, and she had the skill set to allow me to delegate some, because I was still had stuff in my head to do, and to sit in that and allow her to assist me to get that going. And it was something that really didn't, from my perspective, wouldn't have taken a lot of time, but I didn't have the time to commit to it. And we were able to, in that time, that she was able to connect the dots for me. We connected on other projects and other things that there'll be future collaborations on. And I'm listening, hearing, growing from what she's sharing. And we're exchanging ideas and concepts. And a lot of times, just the connection with somebody that connects you to, well, like the Elizabeth group, it can be stabilizing. And it was for me. I didn't have so much to say, but I had a group I was connected to that I could look to, grow with, learn from, and just be connected. We need to be seen and connected. And it has afforded me an opportunity to reminisce and understand why this is so important today and moving forward. There was a community of women, the Elizabeths,
who knew their purpose and learned their purpose as they were walking in it. And so it's, when I just think of that concept, how forward thinking it is mind blowing. So in a very short time for me, Sheila, just the people that you connect us with, you're hearing Queen Adumi, nurturing ear and strength of support, fills the gaps, is a salve, is a bandage, is a sanctuary that has, I come from a large clan and I'm the go-to. And sometimes I need to sit, to hear, to learn, listen, and grow. Instead of stuff being extracted from me, I need the ability to plug in, or an opportunity for that to happen for me. And that is happening. At the conference itself is another example. So much love and community. People, oh, you need this, here's that, whatever. And then the vendors were supporting vendors, a big deal. And they're just like the Elizabeths do. And a thing that I've wanted for a long time, I've landed in the midst of. And it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you, Edwana. That was so life lived, what you spoke about, the subject areas, the various areas that you spoke about. And I'm glad you mentioned the word vendors again, because I wanted to share this. The Elizabeth Visionary Conference, I want to say that the vendors had their own sessions.
Mm-hmm.
When you visited with another vendor, you had your own conference takeout breakout session.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had counsel amongst ourselves going on down there. So I can say that was happening. You know, you sit with Reverend Omani and get the talk about your colors and picking and making selections. You know, it's very difficult to pick something. You know, we go somewhere and we say, oh, I like da 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 da. And then you got to pick. Now you feel a pressure. Okay, what do I? And Reverend Amani, why don't you look at the colors? What's attracting you with the color? And then she'll break it down and say, okay, you know, the color this means that, you know, and break that down. That's a session in itself. So we did have our breakouts. We didn't even have walls or curtains to separate and divide the room. So this is something else that was happening. And let me just say this. As Edwana was talking, I saw the Elizabeth Visionary Conference going into schools for young ladies to sit and talk and have these conversations about things that they don't get to talk about because we're in school. Maybe this birthing is to bridge the generational gap between the elders and the youth, because that's what happened.
Wow.
So, you know, DSA is having a wellness day on the 19th, which is Friday. And I thought about it. I thought about how usually May is career day or career week. We used to have a week at my school when I was working with DPS. We had a whole week and I coordinated that. I got all the people to come in, and I didn't necessarily pick all the judges and police officers and all of them. I would call my friends that had their own businesses. Yeah. Because I want the children to see you ain't got to do X, Y, and Z because Q and R and T are important too. And my friends, because I told them, I said, I want the children not to have no classes for the whole week. Because, you know, if you don't have anybody coming in, now we got to go back to math and science, which are important. But I wanted to show them how they're used. So I see the Elizabeth Visionary Conference. Maybe it's at a school. Maybe it's a conference at a school where we can show them wealth consciousness, where we can share with them about trust, because learning about it at 50 and 60, these babies need to know about it now, just like with the cryptocurrency. I told my friends, I said, I don't care if you like it or not, get your baby some crypto, because then you'll be free of getting their money. Their money is making money while they sleep. You know, I don't care if you don't believe it. You didn't understand the whole way that cash worked. It's always some BS in the game. Because if you watch the Zeitgeist movie, you understand that this cash thing is all a figment of our imagination. And it's how we handle it and how we work it in this existence or whatever. So I'm gonna say it again.
It came to me because there was supposed to have been a particular after school program that was supposed to start. They never got started. At the same time, a high school friend of mine got me to start doing, she has an after school program. She has a company, it's called Imagine. And she's actually she has contracts with these different schools where she brings in facilitators to do different things like journaling, like dancing, like, I don't know what I did with the, belly dancing and the bath bombs and the tie-dye and everything like that. She has a 501c3. So it's interesting how God puts me in position to be around people who doing the damn thing. And it's just a matter of, okay, she got a 501c3, she's got a contract, she's in this, and she's not just there, she's everywhere because she's got other people like me. And so I see where all of it is just having a conversation and getting that 501c3 and we got the pictures and the promotions and everything, and we got it. We just got to put it together and package it and give it to these school systems and these schools, and we can definitely be in there. I'm just looking at the segue of how everything is going. So yeah. And I could I could sit down with LaTanya and be like, LaTanya, so how did you, because she just always adding on Facebook, well, we got this contract over here. Well, we just did this over here. And I'm like, okay, I see you. And now I understand why God puts me in positions to be, so that can be created. All we got to do is just get the 501c3 so that we can go, because that's what they're going to look for. Do you have a nonprofit? And they write the check. I can, let's get this, I get paid for, I can let you guys know, she pays me $75 for an hour and a half working with these babies right here. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the actual company is contracting, but everything's through contracts. Everything is reimbursed. If I purchase a product or t-shirts and everything, I'm definitely reimbursed for that to help with the babes and everything like that. So we got it. We got every last piece we can create our own after school programs. I'm with you. It's already done.
But let me say this. Remember I said, let's take the party where the party is already happening. I see us, helping with her situation, helping LaTanya with her project, learning as we're getting our 501c3 situation. And then we go, hey, Elizabeth Grand, however we label it. The Elizabeth Visionary Conference now has an after school program, because if we didn't do anything else, we learned that all you got to do is go sit down with these principals, make the connection, because all of that happened. So we're sitting here in the thing that didn't really get off, but guess what? We've been acquiring all it. Okay, go have conversations with the schools. Make the initial contact. We have neighborhoods with children. We have spots. I see over here in this property, there's an island in front of that land. I want to have a doggone fashion show on the island, just walking up and down the grass, on the shoes, gym shoes, whatever you put on. I want to do a pop-up. We're going to give you a visual. Maybe we'll just do the living model where we just stand out there, and you can say, hey, this is like Jeffrey and Zoma. Jeffrey has clothes and jewelry. Tafari has clothes and jewelry. You know what I'm saying? I see that. A fashion on the island, or over here in the property, we can, advertise, put our little signs out and say, okay, Mama Evelyn's coming on blah, blah, blah on Mama Evelyn Day. And we're going to be out here in the, listen, estate sales, whatever, however we label it. It's endless. All we got to do is get a porta potty. Okay, that's the only thing we need, because we don't have a spot to go to the restroom. Some people leery about going in and out the house. We get a porta potty. Ohana Gardens, their father rents porta potties, $150. Can we get $150?
I needed that information. Thank you. I needed that information. Ohana Gardens.
Yes. Got it. So I'm just saying, we got the space, and because when it's summertime, I'd be dang if I want to have African dance inside of a building. I'm getting off subject, but we'll get back to it. Okay, does anybody else want to share their Elizabeth experience the Grand Rising Elizabeth show and where you started. What you say, this is how it started, this is where we at now, whatever, you know, I started from the bottom, now we here. Anybody else want to share? Anybody
Yes.
else want to
I
share?
would like to.
Lakeisha's hand is up.
Okay, come on, Lakeisha, you gotta speak up, baby mama. Here, there's a whole lot of us on here. I gotta roll this window down and up. Okay, come on, baby, come on, sugar.
Okay. So for me, for being here, I haven't been here for a whole year, but it's been very enlightening. You know, y'all was talking about, it's been very enlightening for me to be around people that are on the same, I'm gonna say, conscious level that I am spiritually. I look at this, you all were talking about where you see Elizabeth going. I see mentorship. Because I see like that's really what's going on right now. Really, we being mentored. We listen to Dr. Amani Grace. That's what she's doing. She's pretty much doing mentorship. Every time we have these other people, we're learning, we mentoring each other and growing. So I see mentorship on financial literacy, spiritually, and business. You got a lot of business people here. You have a lot of spiritually gifted people here. And financial literacy is something that is really, really needed, because a lot of things are not taught in school. So like when I went off to college, didn't nobody tell me about credit. Didn't nobody tell me that when I got to be a freshman in college that all these credit cards was going to be thrown at me. You know, we have to be taught about credit and what it can do for you at an early age. So I just think that hitting the younger generation is the key. It could be just setting the space up, and then by it being a 401c3, you can get the money and finances a lot, because that's what we do. We're mentoring these young people. We could put programs together, different things together to make sure that we're really impacting these young ladies that's out here. It could really be men as well, but this Elizabeth pretty much is a lot of ladies, so we can focus on the ladies, just offering mentorship on a personal level, financial literacy level, spiritual level, and business level.
Jay, thank you so much.
Can I interject another thought, ladies? Ms. Lakeisha, I definitely want to ask you a question later, but we got to get this information to our children. I came out of the classroom. I've taught all grades educationally and as well as adults. I would do second grade after school programs start at third grade, because they figure, children are more, the hand-eye coordination, the attention span and all that, it's better at third grade. Well, I started at second grade because the classes that I ended up getting were students that nobody wanted to be bothered with because of behaviors and other situations. And so I just found ways to empower them, because they needed it. So many of them were dealing with stuff that some of us as adults didn't have to contend with, but they were comprehending. They are so wise in so many ways. And so maybe we want to talk about financial literacy as it relates to responsibility of paying for crayons or something, but they need it. We need it so much sooner than we get it. It is so crazy. And the other piece is there may be limitations to what you can teach to your people and within 501c3. So we need to get it. Even outside of that, there are things in schools that we have right now that nobody can legislate or regulate that we can do because they're funding us. And we need to key into that, because yes, as an Elizabeth, you're getting up early. You are that woman spoken about in the marketplace. So when we get to the women at a younger age, and we need to continue rites of passages. This is stuff that's passed through different stages. So when the young lady gets to be still in her young ladiness, well, in her adolescence, she's understanding financial, physical responsibility at that stage, and it only builds. So it's such a powerful thing here. Oh, it's so powerful, the opportunity to transform our communities, households at a time. It's so pleasant. And as an educator, I've written programs and so I want to come to the table and share. We need to do some projects this summer. We need to be purposeful in our intent and begin to do pilot programs.
Yep.
And, as we're learning to receive the resources and continue to share it. But we need to get on this one. We need something popping this summer. If it's just one or two things, we need to begin to implement.
Just like I was saying, our neighborhood children, we can start there. I'm all in my neighbor's business, so I'm not their business, but their children are my business. Excuse me. So if it's a child in the area, I'm letting them. I let them know I'm mama. I tell their mamas my name is Mama Head.
Mama Head. Okay.
So we've done projects. We did one of our brothers here passed away, and we did rocks to. We decorated and painted rocks and old cement pieces and created a memorial. The children and I went around and painted these rocks. We used to paint my rocks on my porch. I'm a year or two behind over here on the rock. They never look like they looking right now. That's terrible. But you ain't got to do a whole lot to do a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? So Lakeisha, go ahead. I heard you getting ready to say something, then we'll go to Deetra after that. Wait, but unmute yourself. You was ready for me. Unmute yourself.
Okay. So this really is like a powerful platform, and we could actually help each other with the skill sets that they already have. So let's just say like everything, like from 2019, every workshop, every class, everything, I'm like a sponge. Like I'm grasping everything, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like I have so many books, so many, like say for retail boot camp, I have all that information. This is a platform already. So this is a platform already. So we could make money or help another person on the platform who specialize and give good information. Like you give them some good information that they can learn from, some tools, some techniques, they will pay for the other stuff that we may have programmed, that we have put together. Like online courses, like we could put together some online stuff for financial literacy, for how to teach yoga or whatever it is that what you specialize in, and do it on the platform. So when we was in retail boot camp, it was just like this. We had 4 people. So you already got a panel of Elizabeth, and then we paid for the course to come on to the program and have discussions, give homework assignments. Okay, let's do this, go out here, and a 6-week discussion. We're all here anyway. So, maybe a 6-week course, or they don't have to be at the same time, a 6-week course where we on here every day, and we're talking about, what's going on with this. We talk about these different topics so that they can really truly grow. They will pay for a 6-week maybe a 2-hour once a week at this particular time for 6 weeks. And we have something, you giving them some powerful information, then you have some other stuff that they really could pay for. So I'm branding myself as Madam Finance because I'm tired of my accountant telling me to quit doing so much stuff.
All right, Madam Finance.
I said, okay, so I'm working on branding myself. I have a ton of information. I have a degree in finance. I have a master's degree in business. I have a degree in finance. I have a computer. There's no reason why I should not do it. Like we got artificial intelligence. We have so much stuff. It's just to put it in your schedule. That's like we just need to work our business every day.
Yes.
Every single day. This one guy I was listening to, I can't think of what his name is or whatever, but he said no more 0 days. That stuck with me for the beginning. No more 0 days. I'm not going to work my business. No more 0 days that I'm
Right.
not going to get on my vibration plate or do some type of exercise. No more 0 days. And just do something. Like, you have to work your business every day. It's as simple as putting it in your planner. Just put it in your planner. I
Right.
don't care if it's 2 years out, 3 years. Put it in there.
And then put it in there.
Writing it down and make it plain. That's a biblical, biblical principles.
Right.
Write the vision down and make it plain. Even
Okay.
if it's 2 years out, I plan on doing it. But at least you got it in your planner
Right.
that this is what I'm going to do on this day for half an hour.
For this go.
It is no reason why these powerful women on here that we can't help each other. If Danielle has a course, show up for her course so that other people like, oh, people are actually paying for her course. Yeah, it was people who was there. Whether or not they don't know that we was free. You know what I'm saying? We just supporting her. That ain't none of their business. But we're showing up for her. We're showing up for Edwana, for her teacher, her, maybe her spiritual singing bowls and what's the process that you do. People are interested in that. People will pay for that. You give them something for free that they really got something out of it, and then you can really just, build on that. I just see mentorship with this organization, and I just see this is a powerful platform.
It is
Already, and just to utilize it, and you can make money while you sleep because people will pay for this information. This information that everybody's sharing, especially Armani Grace and some other people that's been on here, and they will pay for this. They will pay for this.
Yes.
This is life-changing information that we're doing
right
now.
Ain't nothing wrong with free, but you got to give them something. But this is some powerful information. This is spiritual enlightenment. This is growth. She was giving homework almost. We're gonna do this. I was somebody else. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, write this down. Put this box in. These are tools and techniques to help people to take it.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to share, Lakeisha. Let me just share this one. I remember when you came, I believe it was you. You said, "Oh, I don't look at my life in a weekly. I look at it as a month, as a cat. Look at it as a month. I look at the calendar as a month. I don't do that weekly. It's a monthly thing." Ever since I told my husband that, and when I tell you, he has to look at the calendar now with the full 30 days and it's been filling up. We need to make up some days because we don't have enough days in the month now. It's been, if I showed you their calendar for the piano, for the DJing, it's ridiculous. Isis they have had to split up so Isis can go do one over here so Hetheru can go do something over there. It has really gotten ridiculous. So I thank you for that message. That message alone has blown my mind from you. And even you letting us come and share with you at your space as well to watch you work your magic. Okay, Deidre and then Reverend Omani. Please, come on, y'all.
Okay. Oh my goodness. This is this is great.
Y'all fired up? Y'all fired up?
Fired up. That's right. I'm a 30-year educator. I've been educating for 30 years or more now. I don't even want to say how long.
Can you come on camera? Can you come on camera, Deidre?
Yeah. I can come on camera. Okay. Like I said, I'm a 30-year educator. And my last stint of educating was a Montessori teacher. And I want to say we can take this to even younger people. I know we said, I think 3rd grade, 2nd grade or something. But it's some young people that if they're exposed to stuff, it would be wonderful. Honestly, those young people know they get it. They get it. So I work with that for about 10 years. So I know how that can go. So just to let you know, we can go younger too.
Listen. Start now. Come on, Rev. Thank you, Deidre, for sharing. Come on, Rev. I'm ready to hear from Reverend Omani. This is on your day. Come on, Rev. Thank you.
I know Sheila was gonna tell me to come on camera. So wait a minute, I'm wrapping my hair right quick.
Okay. Look, we got hair wrapping. We got hair wrap video. I might need to see what to do. Sure, come on with it.
Right. And my ha-has is sitting out. So let me close
That's all right. Hey, what did brother say? Let him hang.
So what Lakeisha was saying is what I'm inspired by. Because I'm actually doing that, but I didn't say I was doing that. What she's talking about, that's what I'm doing. I got really clear from participating. What I'm getting out of participating in Elizabeth, Grand Rising Elizabeth, is this. Number one for me is following spirit. Because something is happening with me out of me just following spirit. It's been stressful for me because it's learning that I can let it go. Like spirit is showing me I already got what I think I need to have an agenda for. I already got. Because I can just come to the call and kick it. Let spirit lead the way, and it's already there. So that's a learning curve for me. That gives me some confidence that I could go to the conference, and even though I had something, because I didn't trust myself, spirit, when I stood up in front of that room, spirit took the thing and went. And even when I didn't know, I just said, okay, what do you want to talk about next?
Right.
And I just waited a minute and said, okay, I want to talk about this next. And then when it got done, it just dropped the mic. I heard myself. I didn't even know. I know that was spirit talking because it's like, okay, I'm done, Sheila. And it just dropped the mic. I was like, well, look at you. And then after that happened, it was like that one little part you want to do about gratitude, do that little part right here. And I did that. And that was the end of my piece. Right. So that's the thing that I'm learning. But the other piece I'm getting out of it, like Sheila keeps saying, who are your guests? I don't have no guests because I'm being trained on I'm being trained on how to lead spiritual principles. That's become it's always homework.
Spirit is the guest.
Really, really. Because listen, this is it's the piece that I had talked about earlier before. You got to know the laws, the practices, the principles. You want to have a breakthrough, all this just making a plan and going for it, making a plan and going for it. Okay, let me just say this. Let me just say it. There is on the planet right now, people don't really talk about it, but spiritual people are talking about it. We're having a breakthrough in going up. How do I want to say it? It's a breakthrough in a paradigm shift is what we're having. It is a paradigm shift in the thinking. If you listen to the words, new words been coming out for the last 5-10 years. New words, AI, fake news, new words. They're saying new words. It's a paradigm shift. Inside of a paradigm shift is telling you, is letting you know, informing you that what you did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year, you got to keep it moving. You really got to do something else. Or you not, because you're not going to get the result because there's a paradigm shift. Mm-hmm. So, it's just like we are really into planning. It's not planning so much anymore. Esther Hitt's been saying it for a while. It's being the flow. It's not planning, it's the flow. And you can plan, but how do you plan? You set your intention, you know what you want to do, and then you go with the flow of that. Because as I'm noticing, if I do that, I go with the flow, it don't be what my plan is, but it turns out stellar.
Mm-hmm. Not a struggle. Mm-hmm.
Okay, no struggle. Okay, but then you got to be really clear where the Course of Miracles comes in. You got to see, we talk about the ego, but we don't know how that bad boy operates.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know how that bad boy operates. Why? Because it's vicious, suspicious, and malicious.
Say that again.
It's running your show, and you don't even know it's running your show.
Right.
Right. And so you must get it distinguished. The only way you can get it distinguished is on the court. And mostly it's not even coming through the spiritual people. It's coming through who the spiritual people have to deal with.
What? Say that again. Ego is what?
Vicious, suspicious, and malicious.
Suspicious and malicious.
And vicious.
Yeah. Vicious, suspicious, and malicious. Okay.
It is.
And that is at its best. That's the best.
Right.
Well, see, this is the deal. The whole deal of y'all got to really get how crazy this is. And if you look at the world, you see it. The ego, this is not what I want to talk about, but just where the conversation goes. And that's what my training is. I go where the conversation goes. This is not what I came on here to talk about, but this is what we're going to talk about because that's what's on the table. And that's how I roll. It's just like, okay, so It's just like this. The ego be trying to kill you. But
yeah.
But it's so crazy. It be trying to kill you because it think it can kill you, and it can continue to live. That's how crazy this mofo is. It think it can kill you, and it don't know when you die, he died too. She died too. That's how crazy.
That's how crazy. You right.
Okay. And we do not want to train and develop our minds. It takes training and development. Okay, I'm screaming now because I get. Okay, so let me just tell y'all who I am because I got clear about this weekend. Okay. I asked a long time ago. I met a prophetess and she blew my mind. And I was in Iowa. I sat on my brother's hill in the back of his house and said, okay, I want to be a prophet. But when God had me read the Bible when I really got into the journey, surrendered to the journey. And how I read books is I just flip. Okay, this is what I'm reading. Flip. Okay, this is what I'm reading. There's always a message for me that way. Well, the 3 parts of the Bible that I kept reading over and over, that I kept flipping to was Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah. But this was before I knew what God had in store for me. God was just letting me know what he had in store for me. Well, who was I didn't even know this till later on. Who was Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah? They were the prophets, right? One of my good friends who read the Bible, Terry with the Bible. Oh, that girl can pray. When she kept asking me, what you reading in the Bible now? I would tell her, she was like, oh, you in the prophets. Oh, they the prophets? Okay. But what was their mission? They called Jeremiah the weeping prophet. Why? Because God told Jeremiah, I want you to go get my people, bring them back to me. But they're going to be hard-headed, they not going to listen, and they not going to follow. But go get my people and bring them back. That was his mission. And they called him the weeping prophet because people was hurting his feelings so bad. All he did was cry all the time. But he was crying so his heart would stay soft. Soon as y'all start crying, y'all be trying to stop crying. No. The reason you're crying is to soften your heart. You become hard-hearted. It's like when you go to sow, plant your garden after winter time. What the first thing you got to do? You got to dig up that dirt. Because it's hard.
Right.
You got to dig it up because it's hard. So how do you get it hard? You got to put water on it, get it soft, get that machine, and that's why you had the tears. Okay. Most of y'all on here, if y'all was to let y'all tears go, that y'all would be crying for months. Because you won't let your tears go. See, now y'all got me started. Okay. So Jeremiah, that's who Jeremiah was. Then I got tired of crying, and God showed me that I was in the space of Jeremiah. Okay, fine. Now I'm tired of crying. Let me flip to somebody else. Flip. Ezekiel. Okay, I flipped to Ezekiel. What God tell Ezekiel? Ezekiel had a more difficult time than Jeremiah. I'm like, what the hell? Did anybody have a good time in this damn Bible? The hell, right? And what he tell Ezekiel to do? Go get my people. Listen, you guys, my mission is to go get God's people and bring them back.
Okay.
I ain't playing with y'all. Because guess what God done told me? If something come up for me to say to anyone that I'm around, not just y'all, anyone I'm around, if Spirit tell me to say something and I don't say it, I'm gonna pay.
Yeah.
What? I'm not paying y'all. I love y'all. I really wish I could take that burden on, but I can't play. Right? And somebody said, well, Spirit is gentle. Do I look like the Holy Spirit? No, my name is Monty Grace.
First.
I'm saying how it's been given to me to say. Y'all act like y'all can't take a tough conversation. Yes, you can. Everybody on here got a fussing mama.
We can sure give one, can't we?
Your mom, listen, there ain't no Black woman I know that don't be fussing. If Black women stop fussing for one day, the whole planet will shift. If we stop fussing for one day. What? Just pay attention when you out in the world and watch how many Black women you see fussing in a day.
Ooh, in the car, right?
In the car with their kids. Don't be in the grocery store. Don't let them kids touch another thing their mama told them don't touch. Right? So it's that. So that's who's over here for real. And I be trying to hold it back, but I want you to know I got a compassionate heart too. I have a loving heart too. Guess what? Because if I didn't love you or care about you on some level, I wouldn't say nothing to you. I wouldn't fuss at you. I'd let you go on and keep doing your dumb shit because I'm a watcher. I be watching you do the dumb shit. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just like, okay. But if I care about you or have an inkling of love for you, I'm gonna go, oh girl, I don't know about that. That's who I am. That's what I'm up to. And if you know anybody who does work with me and get transformed, they know I don't play. I'm gonna say what I need to say because that's what I'm here for. In my life, I'm 68, 69, one of them numbers. I got more life behind me than I got ahead of me. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. So that's the game I'm playing. And I am using the Elizabeth to brand myself. What Lakeisha is talking about, I'm doing. Me and Love Rose working on my stuff right now.
Right now.
The stuff I'm putting on that tape, I'm putting it on the tape because I can go back, and those are classes already that I can. That's how come y'all have homework, because I can teach that because they are breakthrough principles. They're breakthrough principles. And no, guess what? The other part is I'm wealth consciousness. I'm not giving away my stuff for free. I'm done. I'm done with the freebies. But when I consulted the Holy Spirit about the Elizabeth, it was like, okay, do this for the community. Right? And so it gives me what to teach. It's okay, teach it. Just like my Holy Spirit is so excited to see y'all tomorrow because it's like, I can't wait to ask them the question, who did they listen to differently in their life? And I know y'all didn't, but y'all better go listen to somebody differently by tomorrow because that's the question. Like Lakeisha, your son, you had already always listening. You brought that boy over to us. We don't even listen to him. That stuff we was like, he ain't that. He a sweetie pie. Leave him alone. You know, I kept telling you to leave him alone. Right? Because guess what? The listening you have of him, not none of us on this call got that listening to that boy. If we was to say that about ask any of us about that young man, we were like, oh my God, he the bomb. Oh my God, he is so awesome. Oh my God, we loved him so much. All of us don't have that listening you have of that young man. Everybody was trying to tie his hair up. they was taking. Oh my God. So I really want y'all. That's the piece. I'm doing exactly what you're saying. That's why I spoke up, Lakeisha. I'm doing exactly what you're saying. I'm seeing how I can teach a 6-week class and get paid. I've done my free classes. Now, Holy Spirit still has me doing things for a love offering. My Course of Miracles, they're love offerings. My vision boards, they're love offering. Until people can get the mindset of lack. I just want y'all to know, y'all got to pay attention. Y'all got a mindset of lack that is like, oh my God, I am never, ever using a potty. Never. I want 5-star living, 5-star. I want 5-star living. But guess how I'm going to get it? By declaring it and decreeing it. If I tell the universe a porta potty is okay for me, then the universe will give me a porta potty. A porta potty is not okay for me.
Virgo don't like that.
Okay, you got to declare and decree how you want your life to be, and that I'm not declaring nothing. Okay, what card did I pull? I pulled
okay, question: would you go for a luxury porta potty? You know, luxurious.
A luxury potty? A luxury potty?
A luxurious one, a fancy one, okay?
With cute toilet, with some cute accessories. No, I don't need no fancy one because I'm not gonna be in that kind of environment. I'm gonna be in a cute environment. I'm gonna be in 5-star environment. That's the game I'm playing. Listen, even when we did our vision boards, we got awesome places. When we did the thing with Claudette, we went to awesome places to do our goddess workshop. We was by the lake. We was by the river. When we went to Jamaica, it was all 5-star. And how do you get that? You got to declare it and decree it. I'm past porta potty. I'm 68. I'm past porta potty. Okay. Now y'all young people, y'all can porta potty if y'all want to. I'm done. Okay. I'm calling for a higher level of living.
Okay. Can I ask Spirit to go back to the
So listen. Didn't I get out of that you hang out with? Okay, go ahead. Okay, let me just finish this. You will have as much money as the 5 people you hang out with. Bam. I went, okay, we got to start praying for some new friends. But I'm going to tell you how unaware I've been in my life. I'm already around millionaires. One of my coachees is a 1%er. I talk to her 4 times a week. I went, oh, I coach a million. I had to walk out of my room and go, okay, I'm lying to myself. I'm coaching a millionaire. Okay, so that would make me the who? I'm a millionaire, not demonstrating being a millionaire, because that's why I hang out with the coaching team that I'm on. The guy asked me, do you know what a 1%er is? I looked at him. I'm like, okay, it's some 1%ers in this group. I'm hanging out with millionaires, not conscious that I'm hanging out with millionaires. I'm going, okay. I'm still going, wait. I'm getting closer. Because it was in my space. I wasn't aware of it. Now I'm aware of it. Now I can continue to absorb it, pull it in, expand it, make it bigger. All vision board concepts. So that's the game. What you talked about, Lakeisha, I'm in that game. I'm playing that game. And that's the stuff I'm bringing to the party on Thursdays. And that's how come I be stopping certain conversations, because I be like, oh, no. Because it's our conversation that's given your words create your world. Your words create your word. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was void until you put word meaning to it. So that's what I want to say about that. And I'm serious about it. I'm serious about it. I've been on the road since 2005. And I done went through all the and the and the So it's like, okay, now it's time to roll. Like, for real.
Thank you.
And that's the game I'm playing.
Reverend Omar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we return? And I thank you for what you shared, and I'm listening and putting it in my file cabinet to be reviewed later on. But can we go back to the prophets, Ezekiel and Isaiah? You gave us what Jeremiah was, the weeping prophet, and his role. I wanted to finish up with Ezekiel and Isaiah, if you don't mind.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me
Ezekiel, he shared, go get my people.
Yeah, but that was what he did. She gave with Jeremiah, she gave us what kind of prophet he was.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So while we're waiting, we can do a little movement here, not little, but we can do some movement. I want to just start with our toes and then take them back. And then, so we're pointing and flexing just for some movement. Okay, so we're just pointing and flexing, point and flex. If you're sitting in a seat, just point and flex your toes. So you're stretching your shin and your calves, strengthening your thighs, just going back and forth and back. And then we'll do some circles, some ankle circles. Reverend, when you're ready, come on back in. Go ahead and start talking, doing some movement. Roll those ankles.
We were saying that Ezekiel went through a lot Jeremiah, and I'm excited to hear what she's gonna bring.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all want to know how deep this is? Did I turn right to Ezekiel?
Of course you did.
And so that was really deep too, when Danny had us pick out those words.
Uh-huh.
And what I picked out.
Reverence.
Reverence. Reverence, a high regard for yourself. Ezekiel was a leader with backbone and conviction. God raised up Ezekiel to serve as a prophet during the most difficult time in Israel's history. He provides a tremendous illustration of a leader with backbone and conviction. From the beginning, God warned Ezekiel that he would speak to a stubborn group. He faced opposition at almost every turn. A level of opposition that might cause many leaders to reevaluate their position and move on. I can't tell you how many I've tried. I'm like, these people don't want it. Why am I talking to people that ain't listening? Oh, God had to keep me in the game on that one. Ezekiel chose to remain and stay true to his conviction. Appropriately enough, the name of this strong prophet means God strengthens. Ezekiel demonstrates for us 3 leadership skills. First, a leader can leave off of a vision, even in tough times. Number 2, a leader can stay true to core values, even though in tough times. A leader can compel people to grapple, even with the hard truth. Ezekiel clearly led out of the vision of God consistently provided him, and usually visions that drove him to speak in unusual ways, from hands and scrolls descending from heaven to 4 abominations committed in the temple, to vines, eagles, lions, dry bones, and fires. Ezekiel trafficked in strange but memorable pictures. These pictures often arrived with the divine interpretation and instructions on how he was to communicate God's word to the people. Ezekiel closely followed the leadership axiom on vision. See it clearly, show it creatively, and say it constantly. Okay. Ezekiel managed to stay true to his convictions and core values despite people's responses to what he was saying. Sound familiar? God said from the beginning, and whether they listen or not, or fail to listen, for they are rebellious people, they will know that a prophet has been among them. And your son, and you, son of man, do not be afraid of them and their words.
Right. It's like planting a seed.
Hold on, because y'all be trying to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, that don't refer to you. But I know for myself for sure. God, listen, on this journey, God done told me, I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? God done told me it's on the job training, and I'm your coach. I was like, what the hell? I was walking straight down Woodward in Hyde Park, asking God what was going on. He told me it's on the job by that Sherman. I know exactly where it was, by that fish place in Sherman-Williams. I was right there.
Oh,
that fish place and Sherman-Williams right there on Woodward and Hyde Park. Told me he was my coach and it was on the job training. That's when I went, okay, well, let me just stop messing with you. Because every time I would go in with God, he would get tighten the noose around my neck.
Right.
I wouldn't get no freebies. I was getting no freebies.
It's something about that spot. Something about that location, Reverend Amani. That very location that you're talking about, that Sherman-Williams painting that fish spot. I'm telling you, with some energy right there. There's something about it.
Oh yeah, I was right there. Okay, you son of man, do not be afraid of them or their words, or be terrified by them. So, Queen Aduni, I'm telling you right now, I ain't scared of you no more. Telling you right now, I ain't scared of you no more. And Holy Spirit took me off that call last night. I want you to know that too, because I was going in. And now I see, wait, hold on. And on the slide, see, I got some help with Danny, because me and Danny both moving in the spirit. I got that about Danny. I didn't know that before about her, but and us doing that event together, I saw me and her both moving in the spirit, because on that call last night, Danny was asking, I'm like, I'm a tiptoe in. But here I go. I got tiptoe in on Sheila. I got tiptoe in on Queen Aduni. Don't come fronting her flat out. You got to tiptoe in. But Danny tiptoed in before me. I was like, yes, okay, it's on tonight. And I'm gonna tell y'all where I had to go. Boy, it was so inspiring. One of my babies graduating from high school. Her graduation is tomorrow. And her school was the school where they had to shoot. The guy came in and started shooting up the school, Oxford. So I went in last night to get my ticket. I'm thinking I'm just gonna run in and get my ticket. My baby sat me down and started talking to me and how much I lived with them for 3 years, and it wasn't easy. But she talked to me about how much she appreciated me and how much she learned from me from living with them. I was in tears. She told one of the things she told me is the one thing I learned with you, because she was estranged from her dad. They couldn't get along. She said, but because you talk to me constantly and consistently about forgiveness, me and my daddy and he got daughters from another wife, and my sisters are all tight now. my sisters are taking me to see Beyonce, and we got front seat tickets.
Wow.
Right? Like, you taught me forgiveness. And then we kept talking. She was like, yeah, and the other thing you taught me was keep my peace. So I'm not talking about politics no more. I'm not talking about this no more, because what's most important to me is that I keep my peace. So I was like so moved that my baby, she about to be 18 next month. I'm like, ooh, because I'm like, ooh, boo, you about to be a grown ass woman. We start screaming and hollering. We had so much fun last night. So that's why I wasn't on the call, but it was important for me to really listen to her and allow her to express herself. So I did that instead. So
ready. She is ready. She ready.
Oh, girl, let me tell you about Boo. Boo is a class of 400. She's finished third in her class. She started her class. She going to Spelman, got a scholarship for Spelman. She already got 2 years of college underneath her belt.
Right.
So she by 20, she'll be done with her master's. But what nobody don't know that she shared with me, that she gonna bust out on them and let them know she also got accepted at Yale. And Yale told her to go to the historical Black college, and then they would give her a scholarship, get her degree, and then they would give her a scholarship for her master's. So she'll get her master's at Yale.
All right.
Awesome. Okay, so by the time she's 22, she banging.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy Spirit, Spirit, can we get to Isaiah real? I just want to get with Isaiah.
Okay, Isaiah. And there's some other cool stuff about
that's powerful.
Ezekiel.
Okay.
Ezekiel and who he was as a leader. Oh, see, he was somebody who stood in the gap. So the assignment that I got is inside of these 3 prophets, you guys.
Right. I can hear it. I can hear especially Ezekiel, really strong, my Reverend Amani. Because I was getting ready to say, even without the, people that people may act like they're not listening, but the seed is being planted.
Okay, and that's what I've also learned. I don't throw, okay, because I used to just give the seeds, throw the seeds. No, I had to learn. Why are you throwing your seeds on cement? They ain't gonna grow. Well, I'm giving it to somebody who don't, they're not even ready for the conversation. Why do that?
But it might be a crack there though, and something will grow in that crack.
I'm planting my seeds in fertile ground.
But you said the stubborn people though, the stubborn people that aren't listening. He still said he gave his message. They might not be.
Yeah, but listen, this is who I am. If I get on this call and I share some stuff a couple times and y'all reject it, I'd be like, okay, I've been shared it already. So with the seeds I already gave you, if they come up through a crack, go ahead. But the people who I want to work with are the people who are on fertile ground. They're ready. Like when I met Mama Evelyn, I knew she was ready. I was like, hey, you, come here. I could tell Mama Evelyn was ready. Right? And she ain't been the same since I came. I know that much. She ain't been the same. I know that much because when I first got on the call, she was Eeyore. Hello, good morning, I'm here. Now she excited every day. Every day she go on this call, she excited, right? And so with some people I know when I come in the environment who's for me, because everybody's not for me. And I'm clear about that. And I'm okay about that because I have this is what I got from the weekend. I have a specialized spiritual transformative training and development program. I'm training and develop because if you don't get trained and developed, the Earth is boot camp. It's a damn boot camp down here.
Yeah.
How much shit you don't? Not shit. I'll take that back. How much stuff you don't went through over and over and over and over and over and can't get it? Because you ain't really got the training and development that you need.
That is shit. That is shit,
I know,
Mama.
but it's training and development. We get out of high school, we get out of college, and we think that we don't have to train and develop ourselves. But the stuff we really need to have a powerful lesson, they don't teach it in school.
Right. No. Right.
They're not teaching that in school. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll find Ezekiel while you're talking.
Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So the question though is for you, Rev. What are you speaking of that Danny, you were talking about me and you said something about Danny went something.
Danny tipped in first.
Okay, so yeah, it's like we're on the, me and Danny are sort of, I'm really getting now. Mostly I just listen to Danny when she come on the show, but this was a more personal and how we worked on a thing together. I see me and Danny are on the same wavelength. I never got that, you know what I mean? That we were on the same wavelength. So this is the deal, Sheila. This is what I need to say. And I'm gonna say it in front of everybody. You are the leader. We're all following you. We all here because you called us together. You're the leader. 100.
Okay, but before we go, it might be right in line, but I want to know directly. You said Danny started doing something, because if I don't know that happens, and whatever,
No,
and then you
what
said
she did was she started,
after her, it opened up a door for whatever you were saying, and I just want to be present to what it is.
Okay, so okay, so now I gotta talk straight again. Okay, so mostly we talk nice on this call, right? But when we was having a call yesterday, everybody was like not totally, we were however we was talking about it. But then Danny asked a direct question to you about the Elizabeth. And I was like, a perfect question to ask. Like, why do we have to, I heard one question, so why do we have to do it two times a year, right? It was another question she asked you to straight to the matter, because you're the leader. And this is the thing, because it's all in this conversation. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let me just get y'all really clear about who I am. Okay, my main training is in conversations and listening to a conversation and hearing what's going on in a conversation. That's my main training. You hear us talking about landmark education. Well, I was deep into it and I was a leader there. So as a leader there, I had to be straight first, because I got 50 or 60 people in front of me. And I went to my coach and said, she's like, okay, what's going on in your program? They doing this and this and this and this and this. And honey, I don't even know how I'm getting them to do. And she was go, okay, so where you doing all of that? What? Yeah, because all of them are me. What? Okay, so that meant that I got to get myself together first. I can't go in front of the room trying to teach something that I ain't accomplished myself or done myself. So in the conversation, I'm listening for where the conversation is going to the left. And I can hear it so clearly. But it's not like I'm criticizing. That is not my point. I'm into uplifting and empowerment. And guess what? Sometimes when you're cleaning out your dirty, you know how when you clean up a room at first it gets worse before it gets better?
Yes.
Yeah. And so a lot of times when I go in there to point to the dirt or point to the what's not working, that pulls up the dirt. What you talked about earlier, Sheila, I forget how somebody was talking about something early on, and it's like when you first start dealing with it, it gets messy first. But it's not like that. My intention is not to disempower anybody. That would go antithetical to what I'm up to.
Right.
I'm up to empowering. I'm up to making people great. I'm up to having us be the best we could be. That's what I do. That's my living. If I was coaching people and they would leave beat up and broke down, they don't want me to coach them.
Right.
They want to be empowered to go produce the result that they come into me to produce. I produce results. Even though my life might get a little shabby because I'm on a special assignment over here to help people. Because basically, if God had put me where I am right now, I wouldn't help people. I would just go do my thing. I'm good on my own. That's why I don't have no husband and no kids. Go ahead.
Was the piece when we said what was the purpose of, no, did we get to the purpose of the conference, the birthing? I think it was on that subject area.
Yeah, Sheila, but let me finish. I don't think I answered Sheila's question. So what I saw was Danny, once this is where I sort of left, Danny apologized. She's like, okay, I know how to do this. I apologize that I wasn't here to really support you and help you. And then Danny started really asking the pointed questions that this group needs to have and have answered so they can go to the next level. So when I heard Danny doing that, then I go, okay, we on the same page. We can ask the questions to you, Sheila. That will make a difference. But you got to get ready because it don't feel good at first. But if you get ready and can open yourself up to hear, because you got some of the most powerful people around you that I've been around in a long time. I think that's part of why I still hang out, because these ladies on here are off the chain. However, if we don't give them what they need, they won't stay long. If that makes sense. Does that resonate with anybody? Because all y'all just looking at me now.
I'm
Are y'all frozen? Mama had something.
Yeah, I'm with you. You talking good. I like what you're saying.
Yep. I got
okay, good. How about you, Sheila?
Oh,
Sheila, listen.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Because all I want to do is love you up. Because I know you've been in the trenches for a long time. It's time for you to come out the trenches. And when we go somewhere, we fly in first class. We live in 5-star hotels. We living good. I want to do. That's the game I want to play. That's what I want to cost for my life. I went to Egypt. It was 5-star. I'm about to go to Vegas in June, and they're talking about, well, we could get a ticket on Spirit. I'm not going Spirit. I don't care if that ticket is. I don't care how cheap it is.
I love you. I'm gonna break
Delta.
in. I want to do Isaiah before we get out of here. We got 10 minutes. If you could just make sure we get Isaiah.
Okay.
Spirit.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We remember Isaiah is one of the greatest prophets in Judah. His name describes his consistent lifestyle. Thank you. Thank you, God. See, I love God. God be letting me know I'm on a consistent lifestyle. His uncompromising conviction and his clear vision drove him to continue speaking out despite the unfaithfulness of the people. Come on, Isaiah. Isaiah's lifestyle reminds us that we cannot separate a leader's. Come on. Woo! I love God in my life. Thank you, Mama Het, for insisting, because here we go, straight to the heart. Isaiah's lifestyle reminds us that we cannot separate our words from our walk. Your words the tongue in your mouth must match the tongue in your shoe. A leader must first be an example to the people. People do what people see. Isaiah led with integrity. Integrity means oneness, the quality of purity. I got this underlined. The quality of purity and consistency. When we speak of the integrity of scripture, we mean that it proclaims one consistent message. This verse described Isaiah, a man of God, full of consistency. Isaiah's convictions teach us about avoiding ungodly compromise. He and his contemporary, the prophet Micah, both raised the bar up. Come on, God. Raise the bar. Raise the bar. Raise the bar. Come on, God. Oh, I'm sweating now. I need to preach this. Raise the bar for the people by holding to the. That's what I'm talking about. That's how I'm being led right now, and I will not be deterred from it. People by holding the standards of God with unswerving determination. While leaders must remain flexible with their message, they cannot compromise their conviction. Basically, Isaiah furnishes a beautiful case study of a leader who led from a vision. See how vision and vision and vision? A person without a vision cannot. That's a vision. That's a come I do them vision boards and do the work about manifesting, because it all comes from your vision. He describes a God-given vision that drives him to fulfill his calling as a leader. He clings to it despite people's reaction to him. Throughout the book, he communicated his vision to the people and warns them to repent. Before he finishes, he has influenced King Hezekiah to bring about national reforms through his tenacious intercessions with God. I can't pronounce his name. Who I guess he was fighting against Hezekiah. His whole army got destroyed.
Can you spell it?
SENNACHERIRIB. If I probably look him up. Who he is metaphysically.
I was gonna attempt it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, okay, I wrote it down. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
I know, you gotta look them up. Yep.
Send the chairman. Okay, go ahead. All right.
Yep. And so our job as leaders, and everybody on here is a leader, is to create an environment for our growth and for our success. What are we birthing individually? What are we birthing? I'm birthing Elizabeth, but I'm birthing something else over here for Almighty Grace. Hello? I'm done.
Thank you, Reverend Amani.
I was laying down minding my own business. Lakeisha, it's your fault.
Well, listen, Lakeisha spirit spoke to yours. And something I wanted to talk about. I see in the Jeremiah,
Mind my own business.
Isaiah, how, you know, I see that that's your assignment.
Okay.
Because we, you know, if everybody is like everybody else, we'll keep getting the same results.
Can you see that's my assignment?
Huh? What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
She said, can you see that's her assignment?
Yes. When she began, first of all, they came up. Spirit had them come up. And so to hear what all of their roles are, because these are some very strong roles that you have to have a good backbone to stand behind, what, you know, to stand on top of your foundation of what you've been given. And I don't care when we're living life and you know what God has given you to do, and you want to go over here to the left. And no, God told you to stay on the straight road. You went over here and learned some lessons. He gonna make it worth your while, but I don't care what you do, you're gonna get back on that path. My brother stopped DJing because he felt like it was putting him in the world because women were coming up to him and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be in the world. And he stopped DJing. And it kind of made me sad because I know that this is the role that God has given him. Well, eventually he got back to it, because what you don't have to do is keep succumbing to the energy that's being presented, but you can still do your job, you know, do your role that you were given and gifted to do, you know, and everyone and every stepping stone builds you up a bit more. And so you do have to have that heart, mama. You got to have that foundation, because if we don't have that, then we'll fall by the wayside. So I'm appreciative.
Oh, yeah, but
go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's just that I have to deal with the pushback.
Right.
And the pushback sometimes is so strong. I feel like, why I got to do this? You know, I ain't trying to fight with you. I ain't trying to compete with you. I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm trying to lift you up. So it feels like for me that people are out there drowning. I'm swimming out to get them from drowning, and they want to fight me while they drowning. What the hell?
All right.
It's funny you say that, because they have a technique in life. They have a technique.
I'm a Libra, and who I am is just drowning.
Right.
Well,
they have
who
a
I
technique.
am is just drowning, mofo, drown.
Right. There's a technique in lifeguarding.
Yeah, but I ain't a lifeguard, so I don't know that.
Well, but I was saying I was just at a building at a school, and there is a technique for lifeguarding with that called it's a certain save that they have called that the fighting whatever, something, the fighting whatever. I think that you have to hold the person a certain way. You know, I think they grab them by the neck and swim back to the shore, because they're still battling with the water. Like, I'm here to help you, but you don't know that. But I think they grab them around here so they can't hit and punch them and take them. I talked to my husband about that. He's a lifeguard. So yeah, yeah, Reverend, I see it. And you know, you are gonna get pushed back, but guess what? The seed is planted, and then people can come forward and say, you know what, I see why. I see where, because we put that ego, the ego is hurt instead of you getting the lesson. You too busy being hurt, because I think I know that that's one of my challenges. Whenever somebody, you know, my dad would, hey, you know, when he would help adjust.
Well, I'm way better. I'm way better now, because it's coming up now, because I have gone through it a lot. All the circles bring it forth. Everybody ego be right up there for me, have to deal with their ego. So I'm better at it. But this, you know, I'm introducing y'all to like how it occurs for me. Like when it comes to communication, I can hear it. I can hear when the communication is off. That's what I do. But I want to tell y'all this right quick. Let's read about this dude, because it's a reason. That guy Sennacherib, something like that.
Sennacherib. Okay.
He's a conqueror of armies. Sin means moon god. Has increased the brothers. Bramble of destruction, devastation by the enemy. King of Assyria. He came up against Hezekiah, king of the Judah, and Hezekiah paid tribute. Later, the Assyrians were overcome by divine help rendered to the Jewish people, and Sennacherib was killed by his sons while he was worshiping in the house of the god Nisroch. Metaphysically, what this guy means is a ruling thought in the sense reason plane of consciousness. A ruling thought in the sense reasoning plane of consciousness in man. This is not the true sources of understanding. It is the head of the realm of thought, represented by the Assyrians, a king of Assyria. Through this ruling thought multiplies error in the consciousness that gives it place. Sin, moon god, has increased the brothers. It comes to an end. Bramble of destruction. The king was killed and the Syrians were overcome. So this is really talking about when you have a thought, a real strong thought in your mind, then no matter what, you won't let that thought go. You will hold on to it.
Right.
And you have to go in and kill it like it is, because it's destructive and it'll take you out. So that's how come you have to know your consciousness. You have to know what your thoughts, because you got baby thoughts, you got mother thoughts, and you got father thoughts. That's how come God told them to go in there and kill all the men, the women, and the children in the mind.
Right. So is it's the Sennacherib, is that ego?
No, oh, okay, yeah, it does. It is ego, but it represents a thought. It represents when you have a strong ruling thought, in the sense how you sense something. It's a strong reasoning plane in the consciousness of man, how you reason things.
Okay.
You sense something, and it's a strong thought, and it may not even be true, but it's not true because it's a destructive thought.
Right. It's kind of like what we're dealing with out in our wider scope of the world. You know.
Well, yeah, you know how when somebody gets so mad, when somebody go like, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you." That's just that's one of them thoughts.
There we are.
That's one of those thoughts.
I wanted to show. I think this is so appropriate because I read in May 11th. Oh, there's my 11th. In May 11th, I read about the Zen or the Tao. How do you say Tao? Is it Tao? T-A-O? Tao.
Oh, it's the Tao.
Tao.
It's the Tao.
Like Zen, Tao, or the way. The way is a spiritual path. It must be intimately experienced instead of intellectually comprehended if insights are to be discovered. One of its main themes is unity, based on yielding rather than resisting. Tao is eternal without doing, and yet nothing remains undone. That was like, let me just.
That's what I've been saying, because y'all doing machines.
Right.
And it's a new that paradigm shift. Is you gotta, what she just said is it's about you not doing, but the doing gets done. And it's a difficult thing because we used to go.
Right.
And so to sit down and be still is like, that's out of our consciousness. Just like me going to the front of the room without an agenda is out of my realm. I'd be like, what you want me to do? That's not how I've been trained. Right. And I have to continue to do it because it moves me.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to go back about when we were talking about the plans and whatnot. My thing is that we've already written the plan. The plan has already been written. Now it's time to, like you said, put the plan down, because it's going to happen regardless, because you've embedded that into your psyche. It's embedded in. So now you know what the mission is. Again, you know what your role, your unique role that you've been gifted by the creator, if you will. And so no matter what you do, it's still gonna get you back on. You can go backwards, you can go to the side. But I also realized that yesterday somebody posted that Pluto, the planet of Pluto, you can read what the energy is of that planet. That's your homework. But Pluto is now not where it's been in a long time. And so now this whatever this consciousness is opening up, because they're bombarding us with distractions. Social media, how we use it. and this all this looking outside of self. We want to look at ourselves outside and how we showing up in the world. You know, people are, you know, they're getting argumentation. There's no, you can do that, that's fine, but you're doing this for show. But what is it really for your insight, for your internal, for your consciousness? How much are we paying attention to the inside? Our body.
Mostly people are not. People don't even, you tell them to go inside, they don't even know what they're looking for. What the hell?
Because that's where everything
it's
go ahead.
10 o'clock, it's 10:04.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody that participated today. And if you get a chance, jot down some of the things that you have experienced